So around the beginning of the 2022 season, I made a video detailing why I believe the Wolves would be quite good this year. However, despite my faith in them, there were a good amount of people who didn't think they would be much in 2022. But here we are as the regular season is basically over, and I, along with many others, were right about the TimberWolves, as right now they're the 7th seed in the Western Conference with a 46-35 record. So in today's video, let's go ahead and talk about Minnesota and how they've proved the NBA world wrong this year. Now, before we get started, hit that like button if you enjoyed, as it really helps out the channel, and also make sure to subscribe if you guys are new and you guys enjoy this type of content, so you don't miss out on any new videos like this. Plus, I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and once I reach my goal, I'm finally going to do a face reveal. But with that being said, let's go ahead and let's get this video started. Now, let's start this video off by talking about the Timberwolves' big three in Karl-Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, and D'Angelo Russell. Let's start off with Cat. Last season, he missed a good chunk of games, but this year, he's only missed 7 games, and he's had another really good season. He's averaging 25 points per game, 4 assists, 10 rebounds, shooting 53% from the field and 41% from 3. And I think we all know the story with him. I think we all know how good he is. He is an elite offensive center. He can score the ball very well. He's great as a shooter. In fact, he might be the best big man shooter of all time. And no, I'm not kidding when I say that. He is really that good of a shooter. Good as a playmaker, and he's also a pretty good rebounder as well. And defensively, while I wouldn't say he's necessarily like a plus on that end, he is a neutral, and he used to be a negative. So, I mean, he has improved on that side of the ball, and it's really good to see that, you know. So Karl-Anthony Towns, again, one of the best players in the entire NBA and one of the best centers in the entire league. And I mean, even though Minnesota has been so bad over the past few seasons, Cat, he's always been a bright spot. I mean, it's given Minnesota fans, you know, I guess something to look forward to when they watch Timberwolves games. So yeah, not much to say about Karl-Anthony Towns aside from the fact that he is really good. After that, we have Anthony Edwards. Now, Anthony Edwards in his rookie season, which was last year, he had a rough start, and it looked like Anthony Edwards, the Minnesota Timberwolves made a mistake selecting him #1 overall. And I mean, I actually remember, like, last year when people, like in the middle of last year, you know, people were contemplating, you know, did Minnesota make a mistake, you know, taking him over LaMelo Ball? However, in the second half of the year, he turned it on, and he really improved. And I mean, this year, he's pretty much just picked up right where he left off in the second half of the year, as he's gotten even better, averaging 21.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5 rebounds per game, 1.5 steals per game, shooting 44% from the field and 36% from 3. He's really not that bad on either side of the ball. Offensively, he's pretty good as a scorer, really good at attacking the rim, and he's also not that bad of a shooter. And defensively, he's also not that bad either. And Anthony Edwards, he also has really good energy, and he's a super likable and funny guy. And I can't lie, he might be my favorite player on the Minnesota Timberwolves. I am a big fan of Anthony Edwards. So, I mean, Minnesota, they got a future star in Anthony Edwards, and he should just get better from here on out, as he's pretty much already their second or third best player, you know. I would say, like, one of those two, you know. Point is, Anthony Edwards, he's a very good player, and again, he should just he's only going to get better from here on out. And to wrap up the big three, we got D'Angelo Russell. Now, I can't lie, I feel like a lot of people forgot about D'Lo's existence after the 2018-19 season, but he's had a really good year for Minnesota this season. He's averaging 18 points per game, 7 assists per game, and 3 rebounds per game, albeit not on the best efficiency. However, he's still been good offensively, as he's still been pretty good as a scorer, and he's been really good as a playmaker, and that's his main job on that end of the court, to be a really good playmaker. And I mean, he's done that role very well, you know, and he's still a borderline all-star player, you know. D'Angelo Russell, I mean, he's been really good for them. However, what I'm most impressed, you know, what I'm impressed by the most in D'Angelo Russell's season this year is his defensive improvements. As previous to this year, he had a reputation as a horrible defender, and I mean, it was warranted because he was really bad defensively. However, this year, he's improved quite a bit. As a communicator, he's been really good, and he has improved a lot as a defensive communicator. And while he's not like one of the best, defensive guards in the NBA, like Marcus Smart and those guys. I mean, he has improved quite a bit on that end of the ball, and I mean, he has been a big reason why, Minnesota's defense has improved quite a bit this year, which we will be talking about in a second. But yeah, D'Angelo Russell, it's been great to see him, have a great season that's been contributing, to winning, and not to mention, he is good friends with Karl Anthony Towns, so it's heartwarming to see him and Cat on the same team. And I mean, I'm a big fan of this Timberwolves big three, and I mean, if Anthony Edwards just continues to grow as a player and D'Angelo Russell, continues to be a good player, and Karl Anthony Towns, keeps on doing what he's doing right now, I mean, this Timberwolves big three, it is gonna be scary. Now, aside from the big three, there are other guys who we do need to talk about when it comes to Minnesota's success. Let's start out with Patrick Beverley and Jared Vanderbilt. Now, speaking of the Timberwolves defense, I mean, the Wolves defense, as I said before, it has improved a lot this year, and Patrick Beverley and Jared Vanderbilt, I think they deserve a lot of credit for it. Pat Bev's stats offensively will not pop out, but his impact cannot be overstated, as defensively, he is one of the best guards at his position still, and his veteran leadership has helped this team out a lot, and it's translated onto the court, and I think his veteran leadership has led to guys, just being better defenders as they're trying more, and his veteran leadership, again, it is a big reason why the Timberwolves have been pretty good this year, And as for Jared Vanderbilt, he's been a really, really good complement to Karl Anthony Towns in the front court. Now, he's not a lethal scorer, and his shooting, I mean, he's really not that great of a shooter, but he is a fantastic defender, and that's really what his main job is to be, a really good defensive player, and he does that job very well, He's got really good versatility, and he averages a steal and a block per game, and I mean, I'm a big fan of Jared Vanderbilt. He is a Denver Nuggets legend. So, yeah, Patrick Beverley and Jared Vanderbilt, very big parts of this Minnesota Timberwolves team. I also do want to talk about their head coach, Chris Finch, because he's also been a big reason why the Wolves have been so good this year. When he got hired as head coach mid-season last year, his impact was truly felt, as the Timberwolves, they were much better to close out the year. He used to work for the Raptors with Nick Nurse, and Chris has done a good job, getting this team shit together defensively, and I feel like that background, working with the Toronto Raptors and Nick Nurse, I mean, is a big reason why, he's such a good, defensive coach, and a big reason why Minnesota's defense, has improved, and I think he has a big part in, in D'Angelo Russell's development as a defensive communicator, and I mean, also Patrick Beverley as well. Both of them, they deserve a lot of credit when it comes to D'Lo's improvements on the defensive side of the ball. And Chris Finch, I mean, while I wouldn't pick him to win Coach of the Year, my NBA award predictions will be coming out or picks will be coming out soon, by the way. While I wouldn't pick him to win Coach of the Year, he definitely has to be top 5 or top 3, because this guy, again, he has been a really good coach for the Timberwolves. Outside of them, I will briefly go over some other players who I do want to talk about that have been good for the Timberwolves. Jaden McDaniels, he has not taken the leap that many hoped he'd have this year, but he's still not that bad of a player, pretty good as a defender. After that, you got Malik Beasley, who's a pretty good source of offense off the bench, Taurean Prince, who's a pretty good 3-and-D wing, and Jalen Noel, who's another good source of offense off the bench. In Minnesota, they are going to have to go through the play-in most likely and make the playoffs this year, and to truly be, to truly have this year be a success, I do believe that they have to make the playoffs. However, that being said, if they make the playoffs, it would be a really good season for the Timberwolves, regardless of how far they get, even if they lose in the first round. I mean, for the first time in what's felt like, eons, the Timberwolves actually have, hope, and it looks like they have a bright future. It's been really good to see Minnesota succeed this year, given how bad they've been for so long, and given the fact that Karl Anthony Towns has had to endure just years of losing. But again, the Timberwolves, they have a really bright future with this big three, Chris Finch, and these good role players, and I'm excited for the future of this team. And next year, I mean, with some offseason moves and improvement from some guys, I mean, they could be even better next year. But that's all I gotta say for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. Again, like, subscribe, do all of that stuff, and also go ahead and check out my social media, link in the description below. But without further ado, I'm at you guys.